you're slipping in. You go.
Where are you finding all these retards?
This is Clubhouse.
Just randomly coming in.
This is Clubhouse. This is just the beginning. Just wait. They'll keep feeding in. This is like spiders getting caught on the web.
The worst type of women, though, I would say, John, are the boss bitches. Because the ones that want to be vice presidents of companies, head of departments.
I kind of zoned out on what John said, but sorry, it was nothing you said. I just checking my messages. Yeah, I think, yeah, okay, so I don't see anything wrong with women not wanting to have kids. If you don't want to be a mother, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, I don't see a problem with that. I don't see a problem with those kinds of women. What I do see a problem with is women completely disrespecting themselves, and then perpetuating single motherhood. That's what I have an issue with. And those are the women I would say are recreational use only, because you don't respect yourself. You don't respect your body. If you're just having like 4, 5, 6 different children, fathers, like, okay, this is out of hand.
So, yeah, I know a girl. She's a bartender. I was friends with her, whatever. So my buddy and I used to always go to this local pub, and she worked at Ford on the line like a UAW worker. And they make pretty good money. Their work's not always consistent because they always have layoffs, temporary furloughs, everything like that. So she pick up extra hours. And, good looking lady, but you can see she got some plastic surgery done. She had 2 kids from 2 different dads, and she was never married to either one of them. So if you have kids out of wedlock, whatever, that's not a deal breaker. But every guy she had cheated on her, and nobody took her serious. And she could never understand why guys don't respect her. And she worked at she even sometimes would work at a strip club, not as a stripper, but as a bartender at a strip club. And again, she would work at a place that required her to wear pretty provocative clothing and pretty revealing because she needed that attention.
Yeah, that's very sad.
See, Clubhouse gives you
but
a
yeah,
way.
You're not gonna have anybody respect you if you don't respect yourself. I don't know.
Clubhouse
just being out here
Clubhouse gives you a way to detect people in the real world who are unaware of the fact that they're trying to create dopamine by having conversation, superficial conversation, generic conversation, intentionally malignant conversation. Most people are completely unaware of like the ghost in the machine that just having a conversation creates dopamine. So it's a question is your conversation purposeful, intelligent, useful, necessary? Because so much of the communication that happens on this app is totally unnecessary. So it's like a wake up call for everybody, but especially in the real world, because most people don't have this simulation experience to be more aware. So, but that's also gives you as like a power user, Clubhouse user, to be like more compassionate for people who, just may not really be there. They're kind of, struggling for intelligence, I guess. I don't know. It's so hard to. This is so stupid, but I just bring it up because I do notice that, like my mom, for example, like if you hop on a phone call, they use Clubhouse like a phone call. So I don't know if you detect that at all, but many people just don't have this experience. So they want to do this with you personally, as opposed to like making it into a product or some type of functional outcome.
Yeah, like I said, Indigo, like nobody is gonna wife up this girl because when she says all this stuff and like guys don't respect me, it's like you kind of brought it onto yourself. And I feel sorry for her kids because both of her kids are messed up.
Probably because she's bringing those strange men around her kids. Is this something she's doing? She's bringing men around her kids.
Yeah, I think so, but they see that their mom's like some basically like a sex symbol, and like one of her kids is in high school, and like you just kind of wonder, I'm like, what her classmates see when she shows up to school, like basically wearing her provocative clothing. Like you see it too now, like a lot of there's kids that are committing suicide because they find out that their mom's on OnlyFans, and like their classmates find that out and they get made fun of so badly. That's horrible. Once you put yourself out there, it never goes away.
Well, you can
Yeah,
update.
Nick, that's so true. You just said something that's so true. And this is one thing that I wish more women were aware of, especially women who have children. I didn't know some of these kids are committing suicide. That's absolutely awful. But yeah, this is like, I think this is a conversation that needs to be had amongst women more often. Like, if you have children, what do you think your child's going to think when they see you naked online? Like, honestly. And how are they going to view you after that? And then how are they going to view themselves after that, because they are a product of you?
Once you're on the internet, it never goes away.
Well, that's an all or nothing statement, and as someone who live streams himself, 100 hours a week, and basically, I'm like kind of curating my activity and my image, and I'm upgrading myself by educating myself. So, once you get into pornography, though, because it's the most base communication there is, there's no real intelligence there. You're trying to essentially sell dopamine and orgasms and spam. So there's a bit of despair there because you're not matching it with intelligence, and the disgrace, the infamy, um, the vulgarity of it, but uh, the social stigma from that is real. And in the real world, if it does get out in a small community, holy shit, you're verboten. Like, you are the trash now, and the people in society that you can pick on and disrespect because you are getting rammed in your ass on OnlyFans, and that's your mom and your dad or something. So, but really, you can clean yourself up because you can delete things off the internet. You can file privacy complaints and have things removed, but you can't really fix stupid. That's the one thing you can try to fix.
Okay, so I disagree, and I'm going to push back. And I don't think it's an all or nothing statement at all. Because, again, like you even just admitted it yourself, these kids will then be the product of trash and the easy target. So I don't think this is an extreme. I think this is as realistic as it gets. And I have kids myself, so this is like something I've thought about in depth. And I don't post provocative photos of myself online, and I don't send them to any partners. But my thing is like, if you post something like that of yourself online, or you're doing OnlyFans, at any time anybody can screenshot that. So even if you want to do some kind of scrub or whatever, it doesn't matter. Somebody already screenshot it. It's already out there. It's not going to go away.
Yeah, but your reputation is really based on a Google search, what the first like 10 to 100 results are. Most people aren't going to dig further if somebody's trying to dox you or something. So,
I can barely hear you, John.
can you hear me, Nick?
He's
You're
still
good,
kind
you're
of so
good.
far away.
No, he's pretty good.
I'm just saying that so much comes down to your Google reputation management that if you just Google John Kitover, you're going to see a lot of political stuff. If you dig deeper and deeper and deeper, you might see me in my underpants doing yoga in the sun. And according to Marshall Rankin, those are piss stained underpants. So that makes it even more disgusting. But, if you think exercising and stretching and reading books is, disgusting usage of the internet and your cell phone, I mean, I would just say staring at TikTok and looking at 300 miles of TikTok news feed over the course of, 2 weeks and spending 3 hours a day looking at your phone like a zombie and not creating anything is the problem. So we have a bunch of consumers who complain all the time that the content sucks, but they don't take the effort or the time to create anything of any value. And that's what this app is. It's a bunch of lazy, fat, disgusting, meth head, alcoholic, angry smokers who come on here and use their green bean fascist power to basically make themselves dopamine. But don't forget, the root word of dopamine is dope. There's a lot of dopes on this app that dope up with dopamine, and they're stupid on top of it. So that's the type of dangerous world we live in, where stupid people have fascistic powers, and unfortunately, stupid people often dictate the narrative or the headlines and control the cyclical nature of our communication paradigm.
Trying to say is you don't hang out in politically correct, or the new improved Democratic Party.
New and improved? How did it become new and how did they improve it?
Wow. Yeah, they always throw me from that room. So
People are still using TikTok.
oh,
Yeah, I thought that was done for. I actually went into politically correct earlier, and I don't know, they had a weird title up there that made no sense. And I was trying to figure out what the hell they were talking about. And one of the mods immediately, it was like, oh no, Royal or Indigo's here. And I was like, what's up? What's